Aloha and welcome. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about dictionary methods. So we've talked about dictionaries. Now we're going to talk about the different methods that you have available to help you work with these objects. So there's a number of functions that are provided by the dictionary type of dict that operates on specific dictionary objects. And these methods are going to be doing in-place modifications. We discussed this before. Whenever you use a method, it's going to do the changes or do the things in place. So you don't have to actually assign the results of it to a variable to retain it. It's going to be retained in the object itself. So I'm going to start by bringing up VS Code and sharing with you some examples. So here we have my dict. I set this up with some names and numbers on it. Let's print it just to prove that it exists. Sure enough, it does. So we're going to talk about the first built-in method, and that is clear. And you probably have a good idea of what that does by the name. It clears out your dictionary, so it should wipe everything off here. So if we run this, sure enough, we started with a nice fine dictionary. Now we have nothing. So that's the effect of using clear. So we can do other useful things here. So we have, let me pull up our, we're going to reassign everything right there. And then we're going to do something else. So the next thing we have is get. And get is going to look inside the dictionary for a certain key. And if that key exists, it's going to return the value with it. Like if I was looking for John, it'll return 27. But if it doesn't have one, I give it the option here for default values. So let's say I look for Kevin and Kevin wasn't in here. I can set a default value to 24 if that's what I want it to default to, if there's no Kevin. And you think about this, this is a good way to set up default settings if you're trying to load settings in the beginning. If you don't have, or if you have somebody that's doesn't have a such and such, then you can automatically assign that using the default settings. So that's kind of nice. So we're going to do a couple of things here. We're going to print my dict get of John, which should return 27. Then and notice you don't have to give a default value. It could be anything. So like, first of all, if I look for John, I should get a 27. And when we run this, sure enough, let's see here, oops. So when I run it, I get a 27. Then if I take off the next one, 33, if for Jack doesn't exist, so we should get 33 returned. That's correct. Well, what happens if we don't define a default here for something that's not in? What happens then? Well, let's take a look. Let's run it. And we get none back. So we need to define a default so that we get something else. It's going to default to none. So it's got a nothing answer, for looking up Jack. So that's kind of sad. So try to set default values in there, and that will keep that from occurring. So the next thing we have is updating, and update allows you to merge dictionaries together. So if we start with one dictionary and we want to merge in another dictionary, we say first dictionary dot update, then in parentheses, the name of the dictionary we're going to merge it with. Keep in mind that if you have key value, if you have keys in there that are the same, the one you're merging with is going to win out. So whatever, let's say I had two Johns defined, both in my dict and the one I'm merging with. Well, if I have two Johns defined there, then I'm going to be overwriting the value of John in the original. So I have an example right here. So second dictionary is going to be Bob and John. John is 99, John's 27 up here. So when I update the original one with the second dictionary that I have defined here, you'll find that John is now 99 instead of 27 because sadly that has been overwritten. So keep that in mind. It's a good way to merge things, but you will be overwriting with the values from the second object. And our last nifty neato little function here is called pop. So the pop method does what you expect from your memory of lists, is going to pop off an item given for key. It's going to give you the value there. But if it doesn't find a value there, like before, we can define a default value. So if we try to pop off John, we do have one. It should return the value of 27, or no, it'll be 99 at this point. So it should return 99. If we try to pop Greg, Greg doesn't exist, so it should return 11. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. So notice I'm doing a print here of mydict.pop. Let's watch what happens here. So we get a 99 back here and we get an 11 back there. So it's returning that value and then we print it out. So because Greg wasn't in there, it returns 11. John did have a value of 99, so it doesn't need to use the default value here. So that is pop. So those are the main methods we're going to be working with for now, the dictionary methods. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out, send me an email, set up some kind of a meeting if you'd like to meet offline and or actually online with Zoom, and I can take you through some examples. But just get in touch and I'd be happy to help. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next lesson. Have a great day.